Hey, live. All right. Hopefully everybody caught this. Maybe not. Do I have to drop the link somewhere? See what happens. If you're on my channel, you can see it. Probably gonna have to do a thing. Very exciting. Hey, one person's here. Yay! I think chat works. Do I need to repost a stream link somewhere? Maybe. Probably. Who's in here? Who we got? Say hi in chat if you can. Hey, two people are here. Yo, Mark, what's up? I just reposted to Facebook. Hopefully we can get everybody back with the new link. Hopefully. See how it goes. Can we hear me? How's the levels? Yeah, I think we can see me, right? Cheers. We're gonna wait a minute while people catch up, hopefully. Thanks, man. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. Hopefully we can. How's the quality? Is it lagging? Are we pretty clear? Webcam isn't great, but it's going to be the best I can do. Dabbing it, Preach. Okay, cool. I'm doing some maintenance. Trying to get more people back into here. Group. Reposted in the group page as well. It's on my Facebook page. I got two people, Amy. Yeah. I just put that into the group page and I put it onto my base Facebook page. Yeah. Hopefully that works. It's a different link. I should have checked this earlier, but I figured it would just reload when I started. 6 people, sweet. So 7, nice. We're getting there. Awesome. Thanks for bearing with me on the technical. This is a new thing for me. Every stream we're learning something new. Me probably more on this side and you hopefully on this side. Yeah, so we'll wait a few more minutes, get people like caught up on the thing with the stuff. I'm gonna go put this over on to Instagram so they can't just auto share to that, which is weird. And feel free to share it as well in your stuff if you think it might help. Appreciate it, all y'all. Cool. I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I don't know. All right, 9 people, sweet. All right. So hopefully everybody's here and having fun. 7 people. I lost people. Is that the kind of quality content we have here? Is that loss of stuff? How's the music? Can you hear everything okay? I am drinking lots of double IPA. This is amazing. I'm into pretty much a full quart today. Good times. Thanks to Tavern Handle for the hookup on that. But we got wine for a little bit later on. All right. I don't know how to see who's all in the thing, so hopefully. All right. I think we're gonna get going. All 7 of us are here and ready to go. Hopefully they'll join. 8 of us. Yeah. Hopefully people will join up, and we're gonna just get going. Any questions? Please post in chat. Chat should be on maybe your right. What's up, Kramer? Good seeing you again today. Chat's on the right. At least it's on the right for me. It should be on the right for you. When I watch YouTube streams, generally it's always on the right. I can see that all the time, and it's how I'm able to kind of interact with y'all. So please use that to ask questions, call me out on stuff, clarify, talk amongst yourselves, whatever. And then actually a log of this chat will stay on the video. So when I go back, if there's any other questions I maybe cannot address in the stream because I just don't have the answer or I didn't see it because it fell off, I will come back and I will try to either reach out or post something on the group page to kind of follow it up. I also get used to looking at the camera and not the screen. Looking at myself is kind of weird. Luckily I can't see myself. So tonight we're gonna make some carrot bolognese. Haven't actually done this, so it's gonna be kind of fun, new learning experience for you and me. We're gonna try exploring the depths of vegetables, especially the vegetables that are really still somewhat available. And I was at a couple grocery stores, and carrots are everywhere. And carrots are great. Lots of good vitamins, nutrients, generally fairly economical. They store really well. They last a long time. So let's explore carrot bolognese. We're also going to kind of talk briefly on knife skills and knife tips and tricks. Some things I picked up over the years. Some things that I just do out of habit or just practice or just experience that I take for granted that maybe you guys don't think about. Hi, Lisa. Good seeing you. And if you have any questions or maybe you want me to show you something different or anything, don't hesitate. And I'd love to answer those questions. What's up, Flaggy? How you doing? And yeah, we're gonna get going. So first, I'm gonna wash my hands because this is where we're at right now. I've been touching the computer and okay. Like who the heck is Flaggy? But yeah, Aaron, thanks for that. We're at Zeppelin. Hope, how's the music? Can we hear it? Okay. All right, so carrot bolognese, drink your beers, drink your wines, or whatever other cocktail you're enjoying, and we'll go from there. And if the music's too loud, let me know. I can turn it down, and we'll go from there. All right, so I'm going to move the camera. You might not see me as well, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Maybe. How's that? Can we see my cutting board okay? Mostly. I'll try to cut over here, looks like. Cool. See, now it's too loud for me. I can't hear myself think. All right, so we're gonna start with the onion. I'm using some white onions because when I went and bought onions last, this was the only onion available. Been washing all my produce really well because you just don't know what's up, baby, where things are anymore, and it's just better to be smart. We should always wash our vegetables because grocery stores aren't washing them. People picking them up, touching them, doing all kinds of weird stuff with them. Just wash them. So onions, I pre-peeled this one because I had a little bit of some softness and I wanted to get rid of that and not have to deal with that in the middle of the stream. But for me, onions around, like carrots around and other vegetables, I like to take care of that. So I start first by taking the top off like this. I have a nice flat surface to work with. I also could take off just the very tip of the root end. I want to really hold on to make sure this root is attached because it's going to make chopping into a nice uniform dice a lot easier later on. Now I have a flat surface. I grab my onion like this, tip the board down with the knife to the board, and then I slide through like that. And then I have a nice half onion. At this point, you still have a peel. Sometimes I do, yeah. Depends on the quality. If the onion skins look kind of shady, I don't. Or really dirty, I don't. But yeah, I'll keep trimming this for sure. At this point, you could peel your onion. If I had peel on it, I found that so much easier than trying to peel it whole. I like to work smart, not hard. I think we maybe covered this last stream, but I will say that a lot. It's what I do. So I like hold my knife like this. This is how I've been doing it for 20 some odd years now. I think it gives you the most control over how you work with your knife. It makes the knife a part of your hand. I don't like holding it. I know I've seen people hold the knife back here. I don't. This is super dangerous because you don't control the knife. The knife controls you. Or doing it like this. This is really rough because it's really, really difficult on your joints and your wrists right here, especially if you're doing a lot of chopping or a lot of long time work. Either like this, a regular grip, or I like to go up past the hosel with my finger like this. So I have a pinch grip like this because it just gives me the most control of what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do, hopefully you can see it. I can't really see how good the quality is, so we'll see how it is. But can you see everything okay when I'm chopping? I'm going to dice my onion. So I've kept that root in for a reason so that I can do the dicing without my onion falling apart and causing it to be dangerous and slipping and sliding around. So I'll try to, I don't have a top camera yet, so I can't figure out how to do it, but we'll work on that for next time. I go down to my onion and I just go almost to the back to the root, but I keep it attached. So, and I'm looking to make sure that every slice is the same as the last, so that we have uniform dice when we are done. So we have this attached onion, but it's still not attached. And then using the claw grip, thumb behind, and sliding my blade of my knife on my knuckle joint like that, I'm just going to chop my onion. Like so. This I'll keep for stock because it works really good for stock. That piece does, because that's a lot of good work. And then I have a nice, fairly uniform cut onion. Do the same on this side. And then I actually, because this one's pretty tall, I'll come back through. I don't recommend doing that unless you're really comfortable with your knife or your knife is incredibly sharp. Because if you're not comfortable coming back towards your hand like that, you can easily slide through. Or I don't like blood. I don't like cutting myself. It kind of ruins food. So yeah. So I did some of this stuff, got some of this stuff kind of done ahead of time so that we can kind of expedite the stream a little bit. And so I have a little pot where I'm going to get this going on medium heat. I'm going to take some olive oil. I only cook with olive oil because I find that's the best thing to cook with, because you can cook it, eat it. I usually only use extra virgin. Occasionally I might have like a little avocado oil around or some canola oil. I use the canola oil to make like mayonnaise, aioli, stuff like that. Or I'm frying, but for general all-purpose cooking, I use a nice olive oil. Not like finishing high quality, like $25 a bottle, but definitely like a good everyday extra virgin olive oil. I also don't measure. Y'all have to deal with that. So we're gonna let that preheat. I have my onions ready to go. I'm gonna grab a bowl in my cupboard right here. And we're just going to add this to this bowl so we can kind of get on to the next thing. Good seeing you, Adam. Thanks for joining the stream this evening. Missed you last night. Excited for your recommended brand. I like California Olive Ranches or Corto. You can get that at Walmart. You can get it at Supers. it's a domestic product, which I really recommend because it just less footprint, more of a local product. But other good stuff like Trader Joe's has some really good stuff here in Fort Collins that for good pricing. I like anything from Spain, anything that's an Arbequina based olive oil. I think the flavor is really clean. It has a nice fruity note to it, not overly spicy. So that's what I would recommend. And drink. So next I'm going to get some a little bit of garlic prepped. So for garlic, I pre-peeled my garlic because no one needs to see somebody peel their garlic. It's like a personal thing. From here, I like to have them and then take this little germ piece out. The germ is it's just bitter. It doesn't have a whole lot of good flavor to it. And the same with like an onion. If you see an onion that has a ton of germ going, like the green, pretty firm piece in the middle of an onion, I always take that out as well because it just doesn't have, it's bitter. The onion has gone from trying to just be an onion and trying to start flowering so that it can reproduce, and it doesn't put the energy in the flavor. It's taking that flavor out. You know, I'm not a supporter of that. Also buy your garlic in heads and buy from your local farm. What Off the Vine is just down the street from where I live here in Fort Collins, but they do really good garlic. Garden Street Fort Collins is really good garlic, and I think that Alex from Folks Farm will have garlic this year. He did garlic for seed last year, so he could have garlic this year. So buying garlic at your locals is always so much better because it's fresh, has a ton of ton of great flavor that you don't get when you buy garlic from like Christopher Ranch, the stuff you get at the grocery store, because that stuff's been sitting in a warehouse for months and months and months, and it just doesn't have as much good flavor. So here, I just do a good smash, and then we're gonna chop. Yes, allium. All alliums are wonderful alliums. All right, so my oil is at a good temperature. I'm going to add the onion in now. I'm going to season right away because I really want the onion to start to break down. Janelle, I think that, like, depending on what you're going for. So if you season early, you're in. Yes, On the Vine. Yeah, great garlic. Good call, Lisa. Seasoning early encourages a breakdown of the cell walls of the vegetables. So if you season early, you want that vegetable to fall apart. If you're seasoning late, because you want to hold that. What's up, Jeff? You want to have that texture still because you're looking for something in the finished product. I want this to kind of melt into a nice sauce. Like, think meat sauce. Bolognese is meat sauce, essentially. But we're not going to do meat. We're going to do carrots. So we want the onions and the celery and the garlic to fall apart and turn kind of really soft and mushy, so that what we can do just enhances the overall flavor. So I have some garlic ready to go. I have pre-washed and made my celery. I call these rods because when I was teaching culinary skills to, we have black garlic as well. I might be using that, but I have some in the fridge. Teaching culinary skills to high schoolers at my last job. It's just really easy to go planks into rods, and then rods into our chop, and then we can make sure we get as uniform as we can. Don't fear the knife. Make sure your knife is sharp. There's plenty of good streams on how to sharpen your knives. I'm also willing to give lessons, but that's more of a one-on-one thing. I don't like doing those live streams because I just gotta see it. You gotta feel it. It's just not the same. So we're gonna try and do this quickly. I know we're running a little long now, but it's all good. Only when you're chopping, only take as much as you feel comfortable taking so that you don't overload your hands or the knife or the board, because that's when you find yourself more prone to cutting yourself. and we don't like cutting ourselves because cutting ourselves isn't fun. Especially in this environment, we don't want to go to the hospital. We don't want to overwhelm everything. So I'm going to go right in with my celery and my garlic to the pot that we're cooking in, so that they can all start kind of going. I'm going to keep this up just a little bit. So we want the celery and we want the garlic, or celery, garlic, onions to melt apart. We want the carrots to really stand out because they're the star of the show, right? They're what we want to take, like to have that texture and that flavor, like the pieces of like shredded short rib you use in your bolognese, or the ground beef you use in your bolognese, or ground pork, or whatever it is you use, because that's what you want to use. So I'm using a shun right here. Shun is kind of my go-to like home knife, and other, like I have a couple at home. I've been using a Japanese brand called Blisstain. I have a couple knives in my kit that are like, it's just a high quality Japanese knife. I prefer Japanese because I like the lightness and just the maneuverability of the knife. But German knives are good. Henkel's makes a solid knife. Wusthof makes a solid knife. I just think they're really heavy, and they're just, I don't like the way the. Well, a second, let me show you. I don't like this right here. This just makes my callus and my world hurt. Where I don't have that on this one, so I can hold it better. Ooh, that's a weird focus. So that's what I like to do. So we are cooking. I also have a pot of water going. When you're cooking pasta, water's got to taste like the sea. Always, you want to make sure that water is salted well, and not aggressive, not overly salted, but you got to taste it. Because it's flavoring a pasta that you just don't know if there's any salt in it that was made, especially if it's a pre-made product. I'm not making pasta. That's another show. So we'll figure that out. So carrots. I don't peel my carrots. I scrub them really well, but I find there's a lot of good nutrients and good flavor in the peeled carrot. If they're really gross and like really dirty, I'll peel it. But buying off-season storage carrots in bags at the grocery store, like Hungerbird Farms or something out of Brighton, they're pretty stable. I just make sure I scrub them really good under some running cold water, and then I just use them and trim off the ends, the root end and the tip, because it just those where you can get the most opportunity for rot. And that's how I do carrots, all carrots. Just to like the way it comes out. So from here, nobody can see me. I'm just gonna make a bunch of rods. Cooking is a 5 cents operation, so right now I'm also smelling and listening to my mirepoix cooking over here on the pot. Right now I can hear the moisture bubbling and boiling out, so that's a good sign. It means there's still water being released from the vegetables. Once you hear it less bubbling and more like squeaky, that is when you are getting, like, that's when you've lost your moisture and you're starting to burn. So you always want to keep an eye for that, as well as the smell. Anytime you can smell like caramelization, or acrid, you're definitely gone too far. Trick I learned, like when I was like really young, one of my first chefs had me work on like listening for the sound that chicken makes when you roast it. Like when I'm roasting chicken, I know exactly when like whole chickens are done based on the way the drops, the grease, and the dripping sound on the sheet pan and on the chicken. I don't know. It's weird. I just know. It's years of hard practice, I guess, right? So, was everyone drinking tonight? Everyone drinking good stuff? Bad stuff? No stuff? I mean, I know what Justin, I know what Aaron is drinking, hopefully. Hopefully it's something delicious and hazy. But from there, I don't know. Jack and Coke for Adam. Nice. Respect. Oh. Hungover's not fun. I was a little hungover this morning. I may have drank too much last night on the happy hour. It was good times. Nice. Block 15, Jeff, bastard. Belgian single, awesome. Female. I wonder where those were brewed at, Lisa. I wonder where those were brewed at. So I'm gonna go a little rough with my carrots because I just want the carrots to stand out for in the sauce. Earlier, earlier pre-stream, I made a carrot broth. So I took carrots and onions and garlic and some thyme, and I simmered those until the carrots were really, really tender. So we're going to use that as the foundation for our sauce as it comes together. I also then took those carrots and vegetables and I made it into a puree with some olive oil and salt. And you'll see how we're going to finish that at the end of the dish. Ooh, comp beers. Ooh, comp beers. I love that roulette game. It's good times. Addie, you missed last night with the last Mellowcore collab beer with Kruger Brewing Company. It was delicious. Like just super, super delicious. The carrot puree is also awesome just like as a sauce with like anything. Like it's so good. I love carrot puree. The olive oil is super rich. It's got really fun flavor, especially as carrots come into season. So like early June, we'll get our first run local, depending on if we don't get any more nasty weather. Hopefully we don't get any more nasty weather. We'll see how that goes. Or if it's been greenhouse or how early people were able to plant. With the stay-at-home order, it's pretty difficult for some people probably to get out to the farms and working. I don't know. I've been trying to reach out to some people that I know and what they're doing. I know that the virtual farmers market, if you guys haven't joined, you should join or request. I think I have the ability to allow people access. So, or Aaron Flaggy on here as well. Great place to find local products here in Fort Collins. Hopefully Loveland is doing something similar, but I don't know for certain. Unfortunately. Yeah, but I don't like driving the Limelight. Like, I support that local, Lisa. And I have a really good relationship with the Folks Farm people and the Garden Suite people. Been working with them. I worked with Alex at Folks last year at the regional, pretty much dedicated for our farm of choice. And then I've known Ryan and Amy up at Garden Suite since I moved here. They were like the first farm stand that we went to, and we went to their spot, and we just like love everything they do. They do great produce. Their berries and their U-pick and their flowers are awesome. Really great people. So they're up on the north end of town on Willocks, a little bit west of that King Supers. So try to always pimp those farms that I know. Ben over at Raisin Roots is also really great. He does great lettuces, great winter like hardy greens like chard and kale, and he has like some variety of other stuff. I know that he is in a process of like trying to diversify what he's doing. So we're starting to get a little bit of caramelization in the pot, a little bit of color. You can probably see it. But we're also seeing a lot of translucency, which we really, really like to see. We want a lot of that water to leach out and reduce down and concentrate because that gets that more intense flavor. Because we're not adding any meat to this dish. We want to, we got to develop as much flavor as we possibly can. And so we have to go above and beyond. From here, I'm going to add my thyme. I have some wonderful thyme sprigs. I go right in and I fish later. If you have any kind of like butcher's twine in your house, you can tie it up and call what's called a bouquet bouquet garni with some bay leaf. I don't have any bay leaf. I think we're out and haven't bought any yet. Thyme, rosemary, some leek greens, whatever you have, like some green onion stems, like all that together will help influence and enhance the flavor as we move on to this next step. So I'm going to finish these carrots up real quick, and then we're going to go in with the carrots, get them turning just a little bit, and then we're going to go with some broth and kind of get everything in together. I'm shooting onions and carrots everywhere. Also, if you had a like a pastry knife, picks up as a scooper really well as well. So I just didn't plan for one in my kit today. So at this point, you can really smell everything really well. Like it's pretty, they're really nice. A lot of really nice flavors right now. Some good smells. So I'm gonna take a little white wine. I'm featuring a little Willamette Valley Pinot Gris. Got this at Wilbur's for real cheap. It's on sale. Like the only thing on sale anymore. I'm gonna add half cup, maybe 3/4 of a cup. I don't speak Japanese. I wish I did, Adam. And I'm gonna let this reduce to burn off the alcohol, but also just concentrate that flavor. And then we're gonna go with the carrot, and then we're gonna go with the broth. Yes. Always recommend cleaning as you go, so that cleanup is easier later, and so that I don't get yelled at when the stream is over and I'm done. But you know. Always be tasting your food. Oh, nice. I like that. That's a good call. Always taste your food throughout the entire cooking process. That's the best way to season. You lower your sodium use and you find you get better flavor by constantly tasting and seasoning than just waiting until the very end. And then you're having to dump a ton of salt into it. And then that's when you get that chance to get overly salty. It's not as fun. I don't think it's as fun. So when that go, drink. I'm gonna go in with my carrot now. So it looks like that. Hopefully everybody can see it okay. Focus, focus. There we go. And we'll let that cook for a minute. I got my turn my pasta water back up so we can get that boiling. Pasta takes spaghetti. I'm using some fettuccine. Fettuccine takes about 11 to 13 minutes, depending on altitude and how much water you have. Also, a big fan of doing the Alton Brown pasta in cold water. Bring up to a boil from cold with the pasta already in the water. It works pretty well. There's a Good Eats Reloaded you should check out if that's something you're interested in. It's kind of fun sciencey stuff. But that's a deep dark hole of nerdiness and food nerd. So good times. Nice. Belgian single. I'm about to drink some of this wine. All right, so pasta is at a good simmer. Take some of my, I found actual pasta in a grocery store. Can you believe it? It's been a pretty hard thing to find as of late. We're gonna go in. The key, especially with long noodles like this, is make sure your water is boiling, but then make sure right at the very beginning that you are stirring your pasta very, very well and a lot, because if not, as the starch is releasing, especially at the very beginning, the noodles will clump, and then you get those big stuck together noodles that become like concrete and they never cook. They're gluey and they taste like garbage. So I like to make sure that I get all that starts rinsed during that first initial cooking process on my pasta, so that we don't have that. I don't like waste. Oh, you either take your sauce too, like you reduce your sauce too much, like overly far, knowing you're gonna be adding pasta water and you want that additional, like additional like liquid in your sauce, or you have to cook it, the pasta and the sauce down a bit more after you've mixed it. I tend to usually go overly reduced because I want that pasta water. I want that starch and that sauce because it helps like this enhance the flavor and tighten the sauce up in a nice way. Especially since we're not going to add any butter to finish this. Fun fact, most sauces in restaurants are finished with butter. Good times. We're going to finish with a olive oil, but having that starch from this pasta water in there is going to add like a lot of nice flavor and like a lot of body that we'll get from the gluten. If you're gluten-free, there are a lot of really great gluten-free pasta options out there. There's some really nice chickpea ones. I recommend the chickpea. I think the flavor is nicer. Also, we're going over something like polenta or polenta. I don't like brown rice pasta as much. I think that it's a little grainy. Corn pasta is gross. I don't recommend it at all. Quinoa is okay. I found a couple good quinoa gluten-free pastas. Or you can make your own. Bob's Red Mill makes a really good. Yes, that one. Good call, Abby. Bob's Red Mill makes a really nice one-to-one gluten-free flour. It's still a little gritty, but you're sacrificing what flour is. So most of the wine is reduced out. We're going to add some of our carrot broth because we're looking to enhance that and always building our layers and our flavors throughout the entire process. Pasta's bubbling away nicely. Once you get your pasta like going, you don't need it on like a righteous boil. Like a good aggressive simmer, like low boil is good, but you don't want to like rip in because that's when you get the proteins that are releasing from the pasta boil over, and so you get that mess all over your stove. And pasta water is not easy to clean because it's salt and it's starch and it's just meh. It's gross. And I'm always saying my cleanup because I do a lot of dishes here and my work. Tastes pretty good. Tastes very carroty. Needs a lot more salt. So let that go for a while. So we'll come back up here. Hi, y'all. Questions so far? Anything I maybe haven't missed, haven't hit, or that you would like to know? I'm trying to get a little crowd feedback. And I'm going to pour some wine. Because wine is good. Cool, like it. So, any other ingredients? I'm not going to go with any like tomato product because I think the tomato product would be overly aggressive, especially because carrots have such a nice sweetness already. I don't want to like double down on that sweet with the tomato, especially as the tomato reduces. And I think it's getting a little muddy across the two. That's why I'm going with the wine, and then I'm going to actually fold in. I'm going to fold in the puree with the sauce and noodles at the end to just add that next layer. I don't want to cook the puree anymore because it's pretty well cooked, and I don't want the emulsion with the olive oil to break. So it's going to be more of a fold once the whole thing is done. At this point, it's also like I'm just using this because I had all of this in my pantry and my fridge. if you have like other stuff, like I think that leeks would be great in here. Fennel would be amazing in here. I think that like fennel bulb chopped in here with that celery component at the beginning when you're getting that sweat down, and then a little bit of light caramelization. I think that'd be a great flavor. That anise fennel flavor would be really good. I think some orange beets would be cool in this as well. You can actually just do this as an orange beet bolognese as well, or red beet, but then you lose everything with red beets. But orange beets don't bleed the same way, and they don't take over as much. So you could do half carrot, half beet if you like beets. I love beets. I think they're awesome. I think they're maligned because canned pickled beets was a thing for too long, and I think people got. Yeah, nobody buys fennel because they don't know what to do with it. Fennel fresh, thinly sliced fennel. It's a snack. Beets also make great purees as well. Fennel is a little bit more difficult because of how fibrous they are. So shaving, they make great pickles though. So like you can almost take some of the bulb, dice it, fold it in, and you could take and thinly slice some of the rest of the bulb with some fronds and do like a light pickle on them, and you can garnish with that pickled fennel, and you have this rich, sweet savoriness, and you get this like bright pickle to kind of cut through it all. And you get that fennel frond, which is another similar flavor, but it's not the same as the bulb itself. You can do this with, I think, any root vegetable would work like that you're comfortable with. Radish could be good in this, I think, as well. Like daikon, not like your baby radishes, but like daikon, probably your best bet. Or if you can get some of the purple radishes, are also really good to have a little more bulk and size to them. But then you can garnish and fold in thinly sliced radish at the end, so you get that fresh crunch and bright like spiciness to go with that long cooked. Yes, I would love some fennel pollen, and I need some of your honey too, Lisa. Just saying. But yeah, and then this, I mean, as the tomatoes come into season in the summer. What crutch? I don't understand crutch. As tomatoes come into season, obviously use fresh tomatoes. But in the winter, like you know how, like if you want to do something fresh and something you have lying around, like canned tomatoes are canned tomatoes. I don't think they taste like anything at all. I use them for different things, but they're just not as intriguing to me. Yes, crunch, good call. So that's what I have so far. So what are we thinking for the next show, guys? I was approached by Terry to work on some breakfast ideas for some allergy and intolerances. So I don't know if that's gonna be the next show because I think I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research, which I'm excited about. But I would like to start doing this weekly. Saturdays works pretty well for me. Hopefully, it works well for you guys, especially through this time period. And as we get through whatever sweet potatoes would work in this as well, or are you talking you want me to do something not with sweet potatoes? Because I can do that too, Abby. Justin and I will start building into the Two Fat Justins as well with more like videos that we'll upload, post. Ooh, I like the challenge, you know? Yes, we'll do some curry next week. What region? You want to do Indian? You want to do like more Pan-Asian curry? Because that really dictates what we do. You know, smoking, Justin's a great smoker and we want to focus on that stuff. So I think this channel and the Two Fat Justin's channel is you're gonna see a lot more content. I like doing this stuff. I've always wanted to stream. I always thought it'd be video games and not cooking, but now it's cooking. So this is what we're gonna do. Indian, I think Indian. I think a whole nother episode though of Thai curries, Adam, because I do like a good Thai curry. But yes, it will be on YouTube. I will make sure this will be saved. I'm going to post the link to the video on Facebook and Instagram. So if you guys want to rewatch it later, you can. If you haven't subscribed to the group on Facebook, please do. I will be posting updates. There's going to be a resource list from last week's episode going up, as well as recipes for today will be posted up later tonight or tomorrow morning. So you guys can come back and refer to that stuff as well. And then hopefully we'll have, yes, that's the goal for next time. Next time I will have the recipe and grocery list out on Friday so that you can take that with you. And if you want to kind of be playing along, if you will, you can. We can make this as interactive as we can, considering it's only a one-sided. You just get to watch me and listen to me talk. But yes, please post photos so that I can grade your work. Ooh, that is really good. I'm really excited and happy with where that's going. Pasta is pretty much done. I like my pasta to look a little bit under, especially since we're going to fold it in with the rest of this. And if you don't have a pair of awesome tweezers, you're not really living. We're going to talk about plating here a little bit as well, and it's going to be good times. Promise. So, because I didn't stir a whole heck of a lot when I added the thyme, I know where most of my thyme sprigs are going to land and going to be so that I can find them all. Because I don't like to floss with thyme sprigs. It's not fun even a little bit. So, I'm going to take a little bit of this pasta water and add it to my liquid so I get that flavor. I'm going to drain my pasta here off camera. Someday we'll have multiple cameras and it'll be awesome, it'll be fun. But until that day, you just have to like hope that you know what I'm doing, or that I know what I'm doing. So from here, so a little bit of liquid in here. We'll let that cook out just a little bit longer. The pasta's not going anywhere. If you're worried about it sticking, take a little bit of your olive oil and just kind of run it around it, and then just make sure it's all mixed together. That will prevent it from sticking, and it just adds more flavor at the end. I do not recommend or encourage putting oil into your pasta water when you're boiling. I've never found that it's done anything at all other than waste olive oil and kind of make a mess. I know it like the theory is supposed to make it not sticky when it comes out. Bullshit. Just do it after, because then you don't have to use so much olive oil, and the flavor is better, and you don't have that like boiled olive oil flavor, which is not why. I know on olive oil, if you don't go through it very fast, keep it in the fridge, or split it and keep it in the fridge. It does go rancid. Rancid olive oil is not good to taste, to anything. It smells terrible. So if you're not going through your olive oil real quickly, keep it in the fridge. Yes, it will go solid, so you'll have to think about how you're going to split that up and separate it, but trust me, good call. So, off screen. Bowl. Ooh, chopsticks, better. We're going to do some chopsticks. We're going to do the fun little, like, pasta thing. You'll see, it'll be fun. Or it'll be fun for me. And that's all, like, I can really. Again, I just want to thank you guys for being here. Really like it. It really depends on how warm your area is. If you ever like kind of live in a hot house, or you keep it near the stove, it's seeing a lot of temperature fluctuations, or it's in the sun, or whatever. That accelerates that rancid. We have ours kind of tucked away in the back a little bit over here. It doesn't move as fast, but we also only pull out just what we need at a time. I keep the rest in a mason jar, sealed tight in the back of the fridge, and then a wide mouth so I can get a spoon there and get out what I need. Put it in a jar, let it melt, and then use a funnel and put it into whatever squeeze bottle. I don't like using glass for olive oil because it's really hard to clean. And I find that all the glass bottles, like for olive oils, like have the narrow tip, and you don't guarantee like a really good smooth clean on it. I just don't like that. Whereas that one I know I can soak in and it'll be clean every time. Also, if you weren't feeling like you want to have pasta, but you're like really wanting to like make a soup, throw this in your blender, blitz it, soup, thin it down with a little more of your carrot broth or some cream if you want to be creamy. Coconut milk in here would be awesome. A little ginger, a little curry powder or turmeric, and you have a nice little curried carrot puree soup. Really nice. Would have been great yesterday when it was so cold and gross. And that stuff freezes. This will also freeze really well and chill it really well before you freeze it. You can use Ziploc bags. I find is really good for space saving once it's chilled enough that it's pretty set, flat, and then you can do shelving. I also go to, if you're living in Fort Collins, go to Shamrock food service supply, and you buy delis. Or if you do takeout like for pho or ramen, whatever your local Asian, you get these when you get soup. Keep them; they're awesome. This is what restaurants use to store everything in. They freeze really good in here too. I have hundreds of delis. My whole life revolves around delis. Then you put a little bit of masking tape or painter's tape, cut real straight with like whatever it is on there in the freezer. Then you get a little bit of that professional kitchen in your fridge. That's good stuff. All right, so got my last time spray. Nice. All right, so we're going back down here. So because I don't want to put it all in this box, I want to save this. I'm going to go in. I have a good bowl. I used them all. Good. We're going to go in with some of our sauce here. Some of our puree. And then that's not going to work even a little bit. Ever seen a Grumman fail with stuff? You're seeing it. The rule of thumb for pasta is you should have a teaspoon of sauce left at the bottom of the bowl, because that is just the right amount of sauce for pasta. Any more than that, and it's sauce with pasta in it, and any less, it's too dry. It has the right flavor. So I'm gonna mix. I'm mixing. Hopefully you can see because I have way too much glare at this point. At this point, I'm gonna go with a little bit of fresh black pepper. Also, I encourage you to invest in a good pepper grinder. Fresh pepper ground fresh to order to use has so much better and more expressive flavor than anything you buy pre-ground in a jar. I can't even begin to tell you the smell, the flavor. It's just it's otherworldly. So I'm gonna take. Take our tweezers and we're going to spin our pasta like so. See what I'm doing? I got my bowl and we're going to go like here into our bowl. Hopefully you can see that. And then come together and you have a nice little something like that, right? It is Pink Floyd. A little brick in the wall in the background. Yeah. And take the rest of our sauce and we're going to bring it around like so. My bowl made it really difficult to do a good spin on there. And then from here, a little bit of that good olive oil. If you also had like some fresh parsley or fennel fronds or really young and tender carrot tops. A note about carrot tops, ton of good flavor. Only use them when they're like really tender and really young. I will. So that like they're really really fibrous, and they just don't taste very good once they're old. Ooh. Um, Also be like a little bit of parm would be really good on here as well. Parm, manchego, pecorino, whatever your salty umami cheese of choice. But that is our carrot bolognese. A little olive oil and some fresh herb would be nice as well, but I don't have any. So with that, I believe we've come to the end of the stream. Feel free again to post on Facebook on the group or Instagram or wherever you follow, or even here. I think you can post comments now under these videos. This is my first one, so we're going to find out. Thoughts, improvements, whatever suggestions, and then it's screaming for parm. I agree. And like suggestion for next time, I think we're going to do some Indian curry next week. Friendster, man, top 8 MySpace. I love having you guys here. I really appreciate you coming and watching me cook for you. And I hope to see you next week. Friday nights, I host on Zoom a happy hour. Anyone's welcome to join. It's on my Facebook page. Hanging out, drinking, bullshitting, good times. Feel free to come. It's always a good time. I love having you guys. It's a good space to find a bright spot in these dark times for sure. And then on Saturdays, between 4 and 7 or 4 and 8, depending on what I got going on, we're going to do this and we're going to cook different stuff based on what you guys are looking for. So thank you so much. And I will see you on the flip, y'all.